Powerful and provocative, prophetic and practical,
Have you ever found yourself?
Are you dating for that person?
informative and
I feel
inspirational.
every bit of that. Like, I'm not trying to waste my
How you gonna do better if you don't know what better looks like? I do. Come on, let's talk about it with me, the mind massager. All right, time to get this thing together. Let's go. See if my mic is working. Yep, transmitting. I'm gonna let this music play one more time. How you doing, Miss Childs? You doing all right tonight? Trying to wait on a couple more people to come in so we can get the conversation started tonight. I'm good. I'm real good. I had a good day. Thanks for asking. All right, let me stop this music before it starts again. Oh, there it is. All righty. What's up? What it do? Time for another episode of the Intellectual Stew with yours truly, James Kirkland. If you're coming in, do me a favor, share this thread, and let's go ahead and get this conversation started. I've been waiting all week to see you all or to talk to you all again. So I'm sending out the link to let some people know that we're on so we can get this conversation started tonight. Let's talk. How y'all doing? How was your weekend? How was your Monday? Talk to me. Tell me, what did y'all do special this weekend? I did what I normally do, which is pretty much nothing. But how was your weekend? We come in. Viola, how you doing, young lady? Good to see you as well. Ready to get this conversation started tonight. We are actually doing a show or a topic by request. Someone that last week asked me to deal with this particular topic, so I plan on doing so, but I wanted to wait until some more people came in because I'm going to need your help. First half of the show, we'll probably be talking about it, kind of discussing it a little bit. But then the second half of the show, I'll put the phone number up and you can share your experiences and whatnot. And we can, like I said, we can get this conversation off to a good start. I'm always excited to come on and talk with you all to continue this conversation as it relates to trying to bond the sexes as opposed to have a battle between the sexes. So that's what I want to do. So you're here tonight for another episode of the Intellectual Stew. We're not focused on participating in the battle of the sexes. Instead, we are attempting to promote a message where there will be a bonding of the sexes, where there will be a bonding of sex. A part of, for me, anyway, and I could be wrong. I mean, I'm just one man trying to make it through this thing called life. But for me, I believe part of bonding is trying to figure out how to effectively communicate with each other. And I'm gonna be honest. I'm learning that communication might not be one of my strengths. I'm working on that. I promise I really am. I'm working on that. But if you're going to be effective, I think that we have to figure out how to communicate. And I think gaining an understanding of our potential love interests, if we gain an understanding, then that, I believe, now I could be wrong, I believe that in turn will lead to effective communication. And that's the key and critical component, in by my estimation. I think that's probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest issues that exist between men and women. Now, and let me say that again. Let me say that again. That is one of the biggest issues that exist between men and women. We have differences. I looked it up today. I think there are about 25. I'm gonna put this little link in the chat. It's 25 differences right there. If you can't see it on Facebook, I'm sorry. I think they showed it only on YouTube. But it's askthescientist.com. We're made differently. Anatomically, we're made differently. Our chemicals in our brain are different. The way we process, the way we understand, they're different. And the truth of the matter is, even if though they're different, it's okay. There are differences in the way males and females' brains are structured, how we process information and interact with chemical signals. Some examples: men have more information containing gray matter, but women have more white matter, which connects different parts of the brain. Also, women have bigger memory centers than men. That makes sense. And with all of these physiological differences, and we are bound to have some psychological differences. And John Gray, what he does is he likens the difference to men being from Mars and women being from Venus. Therefore, I believe that a lot of the contention or confusion starts when we assume that our potential love interest thinks like we think. And that's just, unfortunately, that's just not the case. And whenever we limit people to our understanding or the way we think, we put ourselves in, I think, positions to be disappointed, put ourselves in positions to be confused, or for confusion to arise, simply because we have not figured out how to communicate with one another. Now, listen, 100 mental health professionals were polled, and they were asked what were the leading causes that contribute to divorce. 65% of those that were polled said that communication was a major factor that led to divorce. 65% of mental health professionals said that the biggest issue which leads to divorce in families or in marriages has been when there was a lack of communication. I honestly believe the biggest issue that exists between male and female, I think that John Gray was on to something when he said that men are from Mars and that women are from Venus. In other words, we speak, we relate, we communicate on different frequencies, And whenever we communicate on different frequencies, what tends to happen is we end up coming away with confusion. So I think that what we have to do is figure out. Thank you, Sharon. What we have to do. How you doing anyway? How you doing? We have to figure out how to effectively communicate. Now, um, here it is. We have a tendency of allowing assumptions. I got notes tonight, believe it or not. We have a tendency of allowing assumptions and the unknown to create enmity and confusion. And many times, these simple issues could be cleared up with a conversation. Let me give you an example. You assume that, and I've seen this happen so many times. You have a premise that's poisoned, and you're operating from that premise, thinking that somebody else reacted based on the way you thought. And I'll be like, no, I wouldn't. I wasn't thinking like that, because I don't think like that, and that's okay. But the goal should always be clear communication. Always should be clear communication. So what I want to do, what I want us to do as Stu Nation is I want us to make a concerted effort to become better at communicating. Deal? Y'all cool with that? No, man. Listen, because in a relationship, there are two parts, right? You say, okay, good. There are two parts of the communication. There's me, or there's a male and the female, however y'all do it. But thank you, Sharon. Deal. We're gonna work on becoming better communicators. Better communicators. We're gonna work on becoming better communicators. Now I'm gonna get to the second half. We can talk and all that stuff, but I want to set this up first. So, one way we can become better communicators is by learning our partner's love language. Now, old James, y'all know me. On Saturdays, I mean why I say Saturday. On Mondays, I start early as far as trying to get my thoughts together. And what is this insect in here bothering me? Is mosquitoes out? Okay. The importance of love language. Now, I asked this question on the Facebook page today. I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is knowing your partner's love language? Now, most people's, first person said 10.5. Mostly everybody said at least 10. One person said 8.5. I wanted to get her answer on that, why she said 8.5, but that was her answer. She said 8.5. Some said as much as 100. Now, I was hoping they read the question right, because I said how important is it to know your partner's love language? Because I usually hear more people talking about the importance of their partner knowing their love language, which a lot of times kind of paints the imagery of being selfish in relationship, because we're trying to figure out how somebody else can love us properly, as opposed to that love being a two-way street. Do y'all agree with that? So when I asked this question, I said, how many of you all, I say on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it that you know your love language, I mean, your partner's love language? Now let me put up a couple of these banners. Hold on, put a couple things. I can run my. Hold on, let me put that up. I told you I have to do this by myself. All right, so here we are. This is what I want to know. All right, here we go. Love language just describe specific ways people express devotion to their romantic partner, or to a romantic partner. Love language just describe specific ways, whether it be through, and we're going to get into them a little deeper in a minute, whether it be through words of affirmation, whether it be through physical touch, whether it be through quality time, sending and receiving gifts. What's the other one? Sending and receiving quality time, sending and receiving acts of service. Whether it be either of those, love languages describe specific ways to express devotion to a romantic partner. Now, they also identify how that love is being given to them. So for instance, if my love language is words of affirmation and your love language is physical touch, I realize that what your need is. And so I make sure I love you in your love language. And by the same token, because you realize what my love language is, you love me on my frequency as well. Right. So with that being said, that what that does is it eliminates selfishness now, because we realize it's a two-way concept. Because while you might try to give a partner love in one way, you might want to receive it in another way. And that's okay. That's okay. That's good. You might be trying to give your partner in love one way, and you may want to receive it in another way. You might be giving out acts of service, but you need it back in words of affirmation. And it's on that partner, it's on you all to communicate how you need to be loved to create effective communication. Yours is acts of service and affirmation. Okay, cool. You're good. Thank you for jumping in tonight, Anthony. Y'all, if y'all haven't shared this, go ahead and share it. So let me look at the framework of like I said, I got notes tonight. Some notes might slow me down. By identifying their receptive style, they can then let their partner know what signs they will interpret as love. If someone is in a relationship, if they identify, hold on, I got a lot of stuff going on here tonight. Love languages are a framework within which partners can communicate their needs. As I just said a moment ago, by identifying their receptive style, they can then let their partner know what signs they will interpret as love. Because if you, just because you are, Anthony, an acts of service person, but your person might be a words of affirmation person, and you try to do everything you can for them. You try to make sure they're as comfortable as possible. You try, like you said, your girl, make sure your keys are in a certain place and your cognac and all that stuff, and your cigar is ready. But you try to love them on acts of service, but they need words of affirmation. That's not fair, and it's borderline selfish. And what happens is it'll create frustration because that person's not won't interpret love the way you interpret love. So while you might have one or two preferred ways of expressing love, this concept suggests that you will probably have better relationships if you put more effort into your partner's preferred way of receiving love. In essence, we have to decide whether we want to love how we love, or do we want to pay attention to how our person prefers to be loved, and then love them on the frequency that they can understand. Does that make sense? Once we figure out how our partner wants to be loved, and then we put a concerted effort in to love them on in the area on the frequency. I like to use the word frequency that's effective, and here it is, that makes them feel love. I think Anthony said the question becomes, what part of the relationship do we learn this? Dating, courting, covenant. I think it starts in courting, because I think courting for me, and I'm gonna get, I wasn't ready for the questions yet, but I'm gonna go and answer yours. Um, I think, and like I said, this is just, and anybody else anybody else in the chat that wants to answer Anthony's question, please feel free to answer it right there in the chat. Y'all communicate with each other. But for me, Anthony, I believe, and like I said, I'm new to this dating thing. I'm trying to get it, but I think the courting is the discovery stage. I think that's when we start to discover what it is our partner likes, what they don't like, what maybe some of their idiosyncrasies are, some of their things that turn them off, turn ons. I want to know all those things, because as we start to learn those things, then it makes it more effective. And I think at that point, I believe at that point, then we'll start to I mean, some of the love languages and all those things will start to reveal themselves. And hopefully, prayerfully, hopefully, they'll just tell us what the love language is. Man, I ain't gonna lie, I don't want to, I really don't want to guess. If I don't have to guess, I don't want to guess. If I like you enough, like I said, I mean, of course we're gonna try, uh you're gonna try to find out what that person likes and what they don't like and all those types of things. And sometimes they're gonna tell you. I mean, I was on a dating site about a year ago, um, probably about a year ago, and this first thing the young lady said to me was, "What's my favorite flower? What's my favorite color? And what was my favorite food?" And I guess that was her investigative way of trying to find out some of the things I liked, based on that. Because knowing a lot, you can learn about you can learn a lot about a person just knowing what their favorite color is. You can learn a lot about, and then what else it does is it starts to open up other avenues of conversations, right? Where we can start talking about different things. What Anthony said. Anthony said, yes, it's courting. Problem is we don't court each other. Of course, we don't court anymore. But it's sad now to me. We know each other before we actually meet. We actually really, really know each other before we've actually met the first time. We've had hours and hours of texting and conversations and all these types of things. So it's a very interesting paradigm, and that you're right. A lot of people don't court, and especially when I don't know how it is in smaller towns, but I've said this before. Sometimes it's harder for me because I don't know if I want to drive 45 minutes, an hour across town to meet somebody that I don't know if I like yet. I don't know. I mean, and I know that's sad. I know I'm probably limiting myself. I get it, but I mean, I just don't know if sometimes I don't know if I want to put that effort in. Old school saying remedy is what it took to get them is, and that still applies in the new days, right? But now you have to decide. I have to decide whether or not it's even worth, and I'm sure everybody does now. It's just a different day. It's just a different day. But the problem is that we're not. And Anthony, you bring up an interesting point, because a lot of us are getting stuck at home plate. We're not even getting to first base because we don't want to put forth the effort. But for those, let's talk in perfect world scenarios. Let's talk in scenarios where, let's talk in what's supposed to be. Let's talk about what is. Let's not talk about what is, because true enough, we can all point out the negatives and the bads and what we don't do, and we see that, But let's talk. If we talk, I think if we have put enough salt in the earth, we can kind of kill some of the dead things that are prohibiting us from getting together and having good relationship. If we can show people what's supposed to be, because people don't really see the right way of doing it anymore. It's so much negativity and so much bad advice and all those things out there that they don't get the benefit of getting good advice. And I think if we talk from a platform of what's supposed to be, instead of just always what is, you're right. We're supposed to court. James, let me talk to James. Let me look. It's a metaphorical mirror in front of me right now. Y'all can't see it, but I'm talking to it right now. James, you got to get more. You got to court more. I told y'all once before. A young lady told me, well, she was my age. She said, less flirting and more courting. Dating it probably is. Of course, it's commercialized. That's why they've made it for profit. We don't just have dating coaches. We don't just have we got relationship counselors. We got we got dating sites now that you have to pay for, all those things. But though we talk about love languages, so let's stop talking about all that. Let's get back on love languages. Y'all getting me off. Anthony, it's your fault tonight. You acting like some other people I know. Stay on court. We're talking about love languages. No, I'm joking. But we have to figure out if communication is one of the biggest problems, because 65% of mental health professionals did say that the reason why people are getting divorced is because they don't communicate effectively. What if love languages were a big key in helping us figure out how to communicate? If love languages was one of the foundational principles that we would use to start, Phoenicia, Charlotte, Anthony, we use love languages as the frequency Um, yeah. All right. I'm gonna stop him from you want to get on the show? Because I can't read all these comments while I'm trying to talk. You keep me. I told you I got notes tonight. If you want to come on, you can come on in about 10 minutes. You can say all that. Give me about 5 minutes. I'm gonna let you say. And yeah, I can talk to him like that because he's in the car business. So let's get into these levels. In 1992, Dr. Gary Chapman released a book called The Five Love Languages: The Secret to Love That Lasts. Now, based on decades of anecdotal evidence he gathered while working at his church's marriage counselor, he suggests that we all have what you call emotional love tanks that we need our partners to constantly fill. So if they fill those love tanks, then we start to feel adored and or appreciated. And this maintains the quality of the relationship. To achieve this, Dr. Chapman suggests that we learn to speak in our partner's love language. Now, have you all have you all taken the love language quiz? Anthony, I saw you came in telling us your love language. I saw that. But have y'all taken the love language quiz? Have you taken? Hey, what's up, Keisha? What's up, Jackie? Have you taken the love language? I took 3. Now, if you have not taken the love language quiz, there is one on my page. Okay, go to my Viola. Go to my page. Don, you haven't taken. Okay, good. Go to my. In fact, hold on. I'm gonna go to my page right now, and I'm gonna grab the. I'm gonna grab the link, and I'm gonna put the link in the chat. Lakeisha, we got to talk this week. I need you to start doing this for me. You've been offering to do this for me forever, and I have not taken you up on this. Starting next, I'm gonna train you this week on how to do this, and I need your help because I'm missing good comments. And like tonight, I got a bunch of information, so I'm not able to read as much. But here, this is the chat. This is the link. Hey Don, hey DJ. This is the link. All right. Now you can go to my page and get this if you don't get it here. Oh dang, I did it again. It's showing up in go to my page and do it because it's showing up in YouTube, but it's not showing up on here. All right, so but I took 3 separate tests today, 3 separate love language tests. And it came, and I ain't gonna lie, I tried to change the answers and everything because I wanted to see if I would get a different outcome. That was what I was trying to accomplish. I was trying to see if I would get a different outcome. And every time I took Don Jack, every time I took the love language test, it came out the same. What you say? Hold up, look. Oh yeah, no, yeah, you're gonna. I need your help. Thank you, ma'am. You're so sweet. I appreciate you. Lakeisha always takes care of James. I appreciate that. But here's the love language quiz. I'm putting it in now. I'm putting it in now. I think I am. All right. Boom. There the love language quiz is. It's coming in now. So with that being said, go there and take the love language quiz, and you'll see. Now I took it 3 separate times, and all 3 came out the same. All of it was words of affirmation. They ask you a bunch of questions like, would you prefer gifts over or would you prefer a hug, or would you prefer this, would you rather go on a date and get this, or would you rather do this, or would you know, they do all these different questions, and through a profile they'll put this profile together on you, and they'll tell you what your love language is. Don, you said you haven't taken one, but what do you think your love language is? I'm gonna give you the list of them. You got words of affirmation, you have sending and receiving gifts, you have physical touch, you have quality time, and you have acts of service. Those are the 5 love languages. I'm gonna I'll start putting those up as we go throughout the night. Now I've been teaching. I do agree with the results. Buttercup just asked me a question. I absolutely do agree. You said you're all of okay, and that's okay. But I absolutely agree. Words of affirmation is those that know my zodiac. So I'm a Cancer, so you know we're kind of sensitive anyway. But real talk, I absolutely agree with those. So go and do that. Now, if you weren't on at the beginning of the show, I broke down what the love languages mean, why the love languages were instituted. I think a lot of times many of us make the mistake of kind of minimizing the importance of love languages. So I think a lot of times what we end up doing on that was the wrong one. Hold on. I think I changed it. Oh, here it is. I think the 5 love languages, Phoenicia, for some have become a cultural phenomenon and shorthand for anything that brings a person joy. So we don't realize how effective we really could be if we used love languages properly, right? Like, for instance, let me give you an example. Say Viola. Um, she wrote them down. Okay, Viola. Say Viola is her love language is acts of service, and my love language is words of affirmation. And right, and so, but every day I'm telling her how fine she is, how beautiful she is, how awesome she is. She don't need to hear that. She want to see it. So I need to figure out, do I have to, cut the grass? I ain't cutting no grass, but maybe get the grass cut or do something of service around, that because you have to love that person on their love language, right? And and sometimes because we feel like we love or we like to be loved a certain way, we operate with the assumption that our partner wants to be loved the same way, and that's not fair. That's not fair. And when we do that, in essence, what could happen is it could eventually create more confusion than it could cohesion. Oh, that's good. It could create more confusion than it could cohesion. Agree or disagree? Anthony, you still here? If you still here, say let me say amen or something. Let me know you still here. Because Anthony told me a few minutes ago what his love language was. So obviously he's already taken the test. Let me go back up. Anthony said, mine are acts of service and words of affirmation. Acts of service and words of affirmation. So he wants somebody to do certain things for him. And all the what are y'all saying? Agreeing? Yeah, about. I'm missing some. I must have missed my question I just asked a minute ago. But yeah, that's where we are. So we got to figure out. So what I want to do tonight, I want to do a little exercise. If y'all don't mind, if y'all will help me help the audience, help all of y'all's future bays or whatever y'all call them, BAE. How does BAE spell? But I want you all to help me help the audience learn to speak to their future bay in their love language. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the link in the chat. And when I put the link in the chat, if anybody wants to come on video and help me with this exercise or whatever I'm about to do, then you're welcome to come on chat. Or if you want to call in, you're welcome to call in. But okay, yeah, agree. Okay, good. Like I said, I'm one day I'm gonna have somebody help me with all this stuff. Keep praying. All right, so that I just put the link in the chat for anybody that might want to come on for video. But and I'm also getting ready to put up the phone number. Here, the phone number is right here. Victoria, I'm gonna have to read your comment because I see a long comment ahead of me over there. All right, so let me put the phone number up for a second for those that might want to call in, because we're going to work our way through these love languages. All right, let me read Victoria's comments. When we think about love languages, we have to also consider how that person developed their particular language of love. For instance, a person that lacks physical touch will essentially crave the touch of someone else. A person that has to do everything for themselves. Okay, okay. I like that. I can ride with that, Victoria. I like that. Good thought. Great thought. Great thought. I like that. I like that. All right, so y'all gonna help me now, okay? So what we're doing now is we're getting ready to do an exercise, and y'all are gonna help me with this exercise. We're going to put a love language up, and once we put this love language up, what I want you all to do is tell us ways to affirm or to love that person in their love language, okay? So if I put up a love language and say words of affirmation, then I want y'all to tell me how, if you were loving a person who, and you know that their love language is words of affirmation, tell me how you would love that individual. All right. So the first one we're going to do is words of affirmation. Words of affirmation. So suppose Lakeisha, Victoria, Don. Okay, it's not physical love, so it's not all of them. Okay, cool. All right, so you're dating somebody now. You're courting somebody. You're getting to know somebody right now, and that you learn that person's love language is words of affirmation. How would you love that person? How would you make that person feel like that they are loved? How would you go about doing that? Let me put the phone number back up in case somebody doesn't. Oh, hold on. Oh. I got to put the phone. I got to answer, be able to answer the phone if you call. I hadn't opened that app up yet. Let me open it up. Got too much going on. All right, now I'm ready. So the phone number is 404-860. Is that right? 860-22. Excuse me, 2775. 404-860-2775. So if someone that you are in a relationship with, if you know that their language, love language, is words of affirmation, how would you love that person? What would you do? What kind of things would you say, or what kind of verbiage would you use to make sure that that person feels loved? Now, I saw this little funny meme today. I thought it was kind of funny. This person said the 5 language acts of service is, would you like me to pick you up Chipotle? Quality time, would you like to go to Chipotle with me? Words of affirmation, this Chipotle is so good. Gifts, I bought you Chipotle. And 5, physical touch, the touch of a burrito on my lips. She said Chipotle pretty much covers all of her 5 love languages, I guess. But y'all talk to me real quick. What are some things you would do to make someone that you are in a relationship and you know that they're, because so many times we're selfish and we want people to love us a certain way, but we haven't figured out how to love them to make them feel loved. Now, if you're making them feel loved and their love language is words of affirmation, what kind of words are you going to say to them to make them feel loved? Talk to me. Talk to me. Phoenicia says, okay, that's a good example. Let me put that up right quick. Phoenicia says, I love when you wear that cologne. Whenever I smell it, I think of you. Ah! So, girl, you just did something to me right then. I'm telling you. Because if somebody tells you, the person that wants to be affirmed, can I tell y'all something? I'm going to give y'all a little secret. I'm going to give y'all a secret. I'm going to give you this quick secret. John Maxwell said that affirmation is like oxygen for the soul. So if their love language is words of affirmation, and you tell them something like, I love when you wear that cologne, because whenever I smell it, I think of you. Guess what? Next time that person might not ever wear another cologne again. He might wear, man, please, let me put on a Tom Ford, and I'm around somebody and they smell my cologne and they have the nerve to tell me, "Ooh, I love you. I love that cologne on you." Even if you're not my woman, I'm probably gonna wear that cologne next time I'm around, because words of affirmation. It's like oxygen for the soul. It makes you breathe. It gives you new life, right? And those are things. What else? Give me some other examples. Jackie, what would you tell your man if you know his love language? Don Jackson, what would you tell your man if you know that his love language is words of affirmation? I'll give y'all some examples. But I want y'all to keep talking to me, because I know y'all know how to love. And if you don't, guess what? We're going to figure it out. Here's some examples of some things you can do. You can write love letters. Oh, hold on. Let me take that off, because somebody put a comment up. Let me put it up. Let me see what it is. Victoria says, let me read her comment. She says, I like talking to you. The way your mind works and the way you say things is beautiful to me. I could listen to you all day. Ah! Somebody tell me that I'm dead. I'm out of there, coach. I'm done. Stick a fork in me. I'm done. You can listen to me talk all day. I can listen with now some people talking to is a struggle. Real talk. Some people, I have certain people I can talk to, and within 5 minutes the conversation is dead. But then I got some people, I remember one friend a couple years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Our first conversation was 6 hours. We got on the phone at 7 o'clock a.m., 6 o'clock a.m., and I think we talked at 12 or 1 o'clock. Because we enjoyed each other's company. So if somebody tells me I like talking to you, the way your mind works, the way you say things is beautiful to me. I could listen to you all day. Man, that's really meeting somebody where they are, and that's affirming what you like about them. And words of affirmation have a way of building. Do you realize for a person that wants to hear words of affirmation that they're so used to destructive conversation or words mean a lot to them? Like me, for instance, I was at Walmart yesterday, and the young lady's name, it was something Seyah something, but whatever it was, when I said her name, she said, "Oh, you said it right." I said, "Yeah." I said, "I love etymology. I love words. Words mean a lot to me. If I see a word, I'm gonna try to figure it out. I'm gonna try to sound it out. So words mean something to me. So if my love language is words of affirmation, and you telling me, come on, man, that means something. What are some other examples of words of affirmation? I was getting ready to put some up a minute ago. Here we go. What about love letters? What about compliments? What about thank you notes? What are words? What about as you get farther into the relationship? I'm not talking about 6 days in, because I know some of us are so in love with the idea of being in love that we feel like we're in love like 5 minutes into the relationship. You probably ate something greasy and laid down and had a dream, and all of a sudden you thought, no. I'm talking about when you really mean it. Then words like "I love you," like Phoenicia said a minute ago. She said, "I like the cologne on you, but I appreciate it when you." Those kinds of things. When you do those things, you start loving a person on their love language. And typically, if a person is loved correctly, I believe, this is just me talking, I'm not an expert, but I believe that when you love them correctly, they'll turn around and reciprocate. And if they don't, you got to learn how to put that Baptist finger up and move out. But if you're loving somebody whose love language is words of affirmation, words like "I love you," "I appreciate you." And another thing is, with that individual, you should probably communicate frequently. Because if you stop talking, if you all stop communicating, or if you don't talk for a couple of days, guess what happens? They'll start thinking something is wrong. They'll start creating problems, start drinking things. I'm just speaking from experience. I'm telling I need a drink on this. I need a drink after that. I just had a flashback. I had a moment. Lord, I had a moment. Good word. I'm not preaching. He said good word. Some people are so preachery. But that's Bishop Simpson, my good friend. Dr. William C. Simpson III. Encouraging. Okay, thank you. Viola said encouraging words. Letting him know how I appreciate him. Do we do that? Because I've heard people say, I'm not going to say women say, because I don't believe in pointing the finger, no bashing, none of that kind of stuff. I believe in building, believe in communicating, building. As we talked about at the beginning of this conversation, trying to figure out how to effectively communicate so we can get over some of these problems. But do we do that? Because I've heard people say, I ain't finna feed your ego. I ain't finna feed your ego. Y'all know how y'all are. Get the roll in your neck and showing your ethnicity and all that kind of stuff. But if that gets you the result that you are ultimately seeking, because I think part of somebody gonna get on me about this after this conversation over. They say I'm actually learning, but part of that. Oh, Lakeisha, I'm about to say a word that you would never believe I would say. Part of that, I guess, is being vulnerable enough. I said it. Ouch, it hurts. Oh, I just hurt myself. Woo, I said it. I said vulnerable. I can't believe I said it. Oh, God. Lakeisha got on me about, I gotta go to the bed. Oh, jeez, I said it. I said vulnerable. I need a commercial. Hold on. Oh, oh, God. We need a commercial right quick. We need a commercial. I'm in pain. Oh, that hurt. I need a hurt. I'm hurt. I'm in pain. We need a commercial. Oh God. Oh God. I'm in pain. All right. These people would be at hold on. We're gonna take a break right quick. Listen, we're getting ready for the bonding of the sex. I'm in pain. The bonding of the sex. These are some of the guests that are gonna be at the bonding of the sex. I'll be right back in a minute. Hold on. I'm in pain.
LaRon McAdoo is an educator who gets people activated, a national poet, an award-winning artist, and last but not least, the godfather of Arkansas hip-hop. He is also known as Ron Mack, the hip-optimist. He, along with his company Backyard Enterprises, was asked to perform live at the 2023 Black Hall of Fame at the Robinson Music Hall and Auditorium. He will be joined by the dynamic Tidwell Dancers. Thanks goes out to CEO Norrell, Jim, Naya P, Denzel, Sir Rob, and DJ Ego. Ron Mack, the hip optimist.
All right, that's one. Hold on, I got one more. Hold on, I'm still in pain, just a little bit of pain. I'm just gonna throw up a little bit. Hold on, I'm gonna throw up my mouth one more time. But this is the other person that's gonna be at the bonding of the
and I don't know what to think. The bartender bring a double shot of the Hennessy. They even know my favorite drink, and they know I got a woman, and we're doing fine. But every time they see us, they can't keep it off their mind. And it's strange when you finally find a girl. That's when everybody wants you. Everybody wants you back. Nobody told me that when you finally find love, that's when everybody wants you. Everybody wants you back. I'm not saying I'm a cheat.
All right, I'm back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I'm back. I had to just throw up in my mouth a little bit and drink some water and baptize myself again or something. I don't know. I asked y'all the other day how many times y'all been baptized. I just had to baptize myself again. I use a word I don't usually use, and it's called vulnerable. But I used it. Lakeisha, that's my one. Lakeisha is probably my best friend, y'all. Y'all don't know that, but I'm telling you. But Keisha said she used to always get on me about being vulnerable, and I actually said it. But I really was saying that for the women. I wasn't saying that for me, to be honest with you all. But yeah, we had to be vulnerable enough to be able to give somebody words of affirmation. And because you giving somebody else words of affirmation really doesn't take anything away from you, does it? Right? Especially you got two of them. Are they both lost? How does that work? But words of affirmation. Oh, hold on. She said you inspire me. Let me read what Victoria said. I didn't read her comment. She said you inspire me. I'm proud of how you make me feel my best when I like how I love when it's holding a mirror of positivity in front of the person you say you love, building them up and not destroying their confidence. That's actually, I mean, that's actually it. That's it. That I only have to say anything about that. So we got that one down. So if you find out that the person that you are potentially being going to be with, that their love language is words of affirmation, come back here and check this out. Viola said, "Where's Viola? I saw you said you put in your you did your love language test. Did you send that in my inbox or did you send that to my right here? Let me see. Africa said something too. She said, "Oh, Africa said that." She said, "I took the test and I got what I knew was my love language: quality time. Also, physical touch is just as important." So let's so women. I know y'all don't date other women. I don't know. It's y'all business. But if men, y'all act like no, I ain't gonna say act like men because they don't sound right either. Let's just assume that you're dating somebody whose love language is, as she just said, her love language is quality time. So if love language is her quality time, then how do we make her feel loved? What do we do to make her feel comfortable so that so that we're communicating in a frequency that Africa understands, or somebody like Africa, whether we're male or female. But if her love language is quality time, then what are some of the things that we're going to do? Hold your beer. Oh, that's old. That you wasn't responding to this one. Okay. What kind of things do we do to make Africa feel loved? Let me put the phone number back up again. Somebody's gonna call me eventually, I'm sure. So I don't have to read all these comments. Makes it easier on me. What is it? Y'all give me oh here. Okay, here we got some comments. Let's see. Jacqueline said, "Yeah, that's mine. I don't care about none of the rest. Can you give me an answer? So give me an answer then. How can a person who is loving you, if quality time is your love, how do you like to be loved? Give us a cheat sheet, Jackie. Give us a don't. I think so many times we want people to guess. You know, I used to use an analogy. I was listening to an old sermon I preached in 2016, and while I was in the sermon, I said something like, "We expect people to know what we had to learn." And some things I don't man, I want you to guess, but I'm probably gonna give you clues on the way. What'd you say? Phoenicia said, by consistently spending time together. We go to dinner together, we pray together, watching a movie together. How soon do y'all want to pray together, Phoenicia? Because prayer is intimate. I did a sermon one time called, I said, I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord, or something like that. I talked about the value of good advice. And I said, when somebody invites you to church, they're basically inviting you into their religious space, right? And religion for a lot of people is like super personal. So when you start talking about prayer is like personal. It's like super intimacy, right? At what point do you start getting to that? And I don't mind watching a movie and I'll go to dinner with you, but I don't know how quick I'm gonna pray. I got to figure that part out. I don't know. I'm being crazy. I'm being crazy. All right. Jackie said phone calls. Okay. Quick text, lunch. Okay, all those things are spending time. Jackie said making time even when your schedule is tight or you're tired. So it don't have to be sitting on the couch all night long. As long if they stop by right quick, at least you feel like that makes you feel special, because you won't. It's not quality time, but it's more quantity of time. Is it safe to say that? Let's see what Africa says, since it's her love language. Africa said, for me, if someone who is normally very busy will every now and then rearrange their schedule to include me in it, to show me I'm a priority, that's top tier for me. And it's also helps build trust and makes me feel safe and appreciated. Okay. Fellas, y'all take a note if y'all listening to the replay now. We're talking about how to make someone whose love language is quality time. We're talking about how to make that individual feel loved. That's the goal. We're trying to figure out how to make someone whose love language is quality time, how to make them feel loved. Let me see what Viola said. While spending that quality time in person, both parties please put the cell phone down. Now, if that's something that bothers you, then you might need to make that known. Now, some people might take that offensively. They might. They might. Now, if they do, then that's just not your person. That's okay, because some people might have businesses. Some people might have children. Never know, and they might have to respond to a phone call. Fancy on the Jamie Foxx show. Whatever his name was, Cyrus, whatever, he always got a phone call and had to go to the hospital because he was a doctor. So if you're dating a doctor, he probably not gonna put his phone down, right? But so is is it safe to say is a presence not enough? Because some people think that their presence is a present. Is that so? Because I know you can be present and not really be present, right? Scrolling social media, all that kind of stuff. All right. Let me see what Jackie said. Jackie said it doesn't take long to say good morning or good night. A quick text, how's your day going? All those type things. Now, last week, Alicia said that she don't want no good morning, no good hello beautiful text. Do you like hello beautiful text? Huh? That's what she said last week. She said she don't want nobody telling her she beautiful every day. Okay. Put the phone down. Oh man, don't bother putting the phone. The phone don't bother me. I don't care, most times I have like 5 screens up anytime, because like I said, I never got diagnosed, because they weren't really diagnosing kids like that when we were young. But most times it's hard man, it's hard sometimes for me. I ain't gonna lie, because I don't know. I guess if I'm super engaged, I'll do okay. That's just me though. She said, I want it all. Okay. I said good. I didn't say hello, beautiful. I said good morning. I asked another question. If you ask one thing, I can make an amendment. I can change it. Can I? Please, pretty please, Jackie. And stop hollering at me with those capital words and all that kind of stuff. Time I said good morning, going to capitalize it. But do you like good morning, beautiful text? Can I ask that question? Please. All right. Phoenicia said good morning, good night text can be scheduled to go off with little intention. So you don't like good morning, good night. So because they don't require very much intention, so that's not enough effort. Is that what you're saying? Tell me if I'm wrong. And there the phone number is, and the links in the chat. So let me see what Victoria said. Victoria said, let me read it first. Are we talking about quality time? Activities together, creating experiences, designate a special time for something, even if it's simple, reading to each other, things that make your person know that they have your attention and are a priority over everything and everyone and everything else. Okay. Yes, Lord. Okay. Victoria Stalin, stick around for a while. I like you. All right. So that's how Africa, are we giving good ways to love someone like you that has quality time? I mean, that their love language is quality time. Are we addressing those issues? Because that's the goal. The goal is to, if 65% of mental health professionals say that the reason marriages fail is because of poor communication, and if love languages can help us communicate, then let's figure out how to love our partner on our love language. And if we discuss all 5 of them, then we'll know how to love someone else who has a different love language. Let's see what Africa says. She said, because I don't ask for much, hardly ever, I know I deserve to be priority. Now I get that people who work for a living need that time to recharge. So I'm understanding of the personal time and the time needed to recharge. But just including me at some point in their day would feel like a gift to me. So let me ask you a question. So you said they work a lot and all those kinds of things. So if they say, hey, I'm about to stop by, can I come by and take a nap? Is that offensive? Now, y'all are dating now. Y'all are into a relationship, not in the early courting stages. But if he came over your house and y'all were chilling, spending time together, and he fell asleep on the couch, would that be offensive? Would you be happy because he's there? He was tired, even though he was tired. Hey, country, you late? And we've been talking about love. Oh, you can go back and watch the replay. We've been talking about love language for 57 minutes. I'm joking. She's the one that asked me to deal with this subject tonight, so don't take it personal. Real talk though, honestly, if I'm tired, but I know you like me to hang around, and I come over to the house, but I fall asleep on the couch, are you gonna get upset with me? I'm just asking. Absolutely. Okay. She said, now, Victoria, what's your love language? What is your love language, Victoria Stallings? Let me see what Anthony said. I'm challenging myself. I challenge everyone to do the love dare with their partner. It wouldn't be offensive. Okay, Viola. It wouldn't be offensive. Kai said, nope, it wouldn't be offensive. Kanju, I'm done with. I'm just messing with you. But Victoria said her dates are absolutely gonna have to be a thing. I get it. But real talk, what's your love language? What's your love language? Who was I talking to? Victoria. Physical touch and acts of service. All right, so I can understand why that would be. But if her love language is just quality time, that means that person is just in their, as long as that person is in their presence, they're cool. Let me see. Africa said, they could take a nap on the couch. I wouldn't be offended at all. I'm a nurturer by nature, so I'd probably have a meal and a nightcap. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Oh God, I got to go touch it. Hold on 1 second. She said I would probably have a meal and a nightcap.
Oh Lord.
I needed to hit that right quick. Yes, sir. You're talking real good, Africa. She said I would probably have he could take a nap on the couch. I wouldn't be offended. I'm a nurturer by nature. I'd probably have a meal and a nightcap waiting. Hallelujah. Yes, sir. You made my day with that one. That's what I'm saying. But that's, and so Victoria, when you say nope, a date is a date, that makes sense for you. But a person, because your love language is physical touch and acts of service, but for this person who said that their love language is quality time, she feels different. Viola said same thing. I get it. That's why I try to tell people, and I'm being funny. I'm being funny. I'm laughing, but very serious. That's why I tell people, be careful when we come to projecting, because we all love different. Now let's go to your love language, Victoria. Let's go to one of your love languages. Let's go to, where is it? I got to scroll all the way up. Let's go to physical touch. Now, a person whose love language is physical touch. Let me ask you, Victoria, how, if a person is trying to love you on that love language, we'll deal with acts of service separately. How would you want them to deal with you? Those of you all whose love language is physical touch, and it's not all about sex. It's not all about sex. It's not all about sex. We're gonna take that one out of the equation tonight. We're gonna do some other ways to make a person. How can a person whose love language is physical touch, how can they feel loved? Talk to me. Talk to me real good. Tell me something. What did Kai say? But if that's the norm, it would be. Okay, I get that, Kai. That makes sense. Kai said a moment. She said, if I wouldn't mind them falling asleep on the couch, and it's not an issue now. But if that person did, if that's all they did, then yeah, that would be a problem. I can see that. I appreciate that answer. I really do. Because I'm saying, in the rare instance where they're tired and they come by and and y'all kind of chilling, and then all of a sudden they fall asleep on the couch. Or she might say stop by or whatever. I don't know. But I get that answer, Kai. That's a good answer. But if your love language is physical touch, how would what kind of things could a person do to make you feel loved? What are some things to do? I know, of course, hugs. Hugs are good. Transmitting that body, especially somebody whose love language really is touch. They hug different. I ain't gonna lie. You can almost feel that vibration of that hug, because you're emitting or you're creating energy amongst each other, because that's that person's love language. Holding hands, cuddling, all those types of things. Let me see what you all are saying in the comment. All right, Phoenicia says, let me rest my feet on you. Okay. While sitting on the couch. What size shoe you wear? No, don't answer that. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. But that I'm joking. Did nobody put no laughing emoji? I'm just joking. But no, I do put my feet. That's my second one. My first one is words of affirmation. My second one is physical touch. So those types of things. Viola said hugs, massage, holding hands. Some of the things I said a few minutes ago. Let me see what Africa said. Africa said physical touch is my other love language. If my person isn't ever affectionate, I would feel If my person isn't ever affectionate, I would feel unattractive, unwanted, and unloved. I would quickly exit stage left. I need a good, strong hug, and I'm not willing to live without it. And if that's your love language, what's up, Dawood? We're talking about how to create effective communication. Now, we're talking about Dawood. We're talking about effectively communicating through the love languages. We're saying, and we know we're saying that we always have struggles communicating, but if we took the time to learn out took the time to learn what it takes to make our partners tick, or what it takes to get their attention, or to make them feel valued, or make them feel loved, then we can become a little bit more effective in this whole love thing, Dawood. That's where we are. Dawood is one of our good conversationalists, so I want to bring him up to speed. Okay. What kind of quality time you want? Okay. We right now we're talking about how to make a person who is whose love language is physical touch, how to make them feel loved. That's what we're talking about right now. Victoria, who said her love language is touch, she said she needs hugs, kisses, booty rubs, smacks. All right. Hold on. I got to go get one more right quick. She hold on. She said, let me read it out loud again. Hold on. She said, hugs, kisses, booty rubs,
Oh Lord, oh Lord.
holding hands, washing hair, massages, hand on thighs, uh, while driving. Oh yeah, hand on drive. Yeah, embraces from behind, small touches that are unexpected. All those things. One more.
Oh Lord.
That's good. So those are ways that someone whose love language is touch. That's a way to make her feel loved. Africa. She said, "Let's watch a movie with your head on my lap." Hey, I'm melt. I'll almost put my thumb in my mouth. I wouldn't. I said almost. I'm just joking. Nikki Mack, what you talking about tonight? Nikki said, kissing, full body rubs, cuddling, being affectionate, laying my head between his legs while watching a movie show, bathing my body in the shower, all those types of things. Hold on. I got to go back down here and get this one more time. Now, y'all keep messing with me.
Oh Lord.
Okay. Yeah. So those are all different ways of loving somebody on their love language. If their love language is physical touch. What you say, Africa? Africa said, and I'm automatically giving back rubs. So there's no point in running. I've been told I have a very nice nice touch, the Midas touch, if you will. So, hey, I get it. Phoenicia said, oh, shoot, hold on. Is it time for another commercial? I'm trying to figure out. Phoenicia said, dry me off when I get out of the shower, and then rub me down with oil. These are all things. Phoenicia, what is your love language? Is your love language physical touch? So all of these are things that you can do for a person whose love language is physical touch. And this is the key, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you all who are late to the party, if you hadn't been on the whole time, this is the thing. We read a study earlier in the show that said 65% of mental health professionals say that the reason why divorces happen and marriages fail is because of lack of communication or poor communication. So we're trying to find a launching pad or a diving board or some type of foundational principle that we can use to build from to help us effectively communicate with our love interests. That's what we're trying to do. Let me see. Conjua said, she said, find ways to meet each other's needs. If one is sick, how would you help the other person? I want the sickness and health and losing someone. Are you going to comfort me? If you know I'm going to make a decision, or you're going to support me or not, don't just say you love me. How are you showing me love? By cooking a meal, taking care of home. Okay, so now what we're doing at this moment right here, Conjure, and I get all those things are good because I think you just named all 7 of the 5 love languages. But what we're doing now is what we're trying to do is we're trying to isolate each love language so that we can foster an atmosphere of effective communication. And by this time in the relationship, we already know what our other person's love language is. So we want to make sure that we're loving them on their love language, and prayerfully in return, they'll love us on our love language. Now, we've already done which ones have we done already, ladies and gentlemen? We've done words of affirmation, we've done physical touch, and we've done quality time. Now, here's the next one. If you're loving someone, is there anyone on the line right now whose love language is acts of service? Anthony, I know you said yours was. What someone whose love language is acts of service? How would you make that person feel loved? Someone whose love language is acts of service. How would you make that person feel loved? Y'all talk to me real quick. How would you make that person feel loved? That's the goal tonight. This is an exercise. Like I said, we can get deeper into these love languages and we could talk about our personal stories. And listen, the phone line is open. I'm always open for testimony. You know, after the shows, after I finish my material, we can always go back and talk about some of the things that some of your personal experiences and all those types of things. But I want to know, real talk, if your love language is acts of service, how can what can someone do that will what can someone do to make you feel loved? Talk to me. Tell me something. Tell me something good. What is it? Someone who's, because I know it's some of you all on here. If you, Phoenicia, Victoria Stall is calling. I feel you might have something to say. All right, I just put the chat, the link in the chat again for those of all who don't want to call, but would prefer to do the video aspect of it. If you want, like I said, but if you want to call in, or I really just want to know, what can a person do if your love language is acts of service? What can a person do to make you feel loved? What's some very small things they can do that'll make you feel loved? Okay. All right. There we go. Viola said, do chores together. Offer to help. I like that. Okay. Victoria said, meet the needs without being asked. That's probably the most individualized love language because each person's needs are specific to them. Okay. Africa, she said, make sure my partner is happy and fulfilled is what makes me feel happy and fulfilled. Heavy on giving more than receiving. But the more I'm poured into and dated on, the more my love and passion is released and unlocked. Okay. Nikki Mack, she said acts of service, making sure that you know their needs and act upon it. Fill up their love tank, or fill up their tank. Okay. Make sure, oh, you're not talking about love tank, you're talking about their your gas tank. I'm sorry. I used the love tank earlier. Fill up their tank, make sure he has his necessities when he gets off work, whether it's food, cigars, cognac, run, his bath, all that. Now he did brag on you, Nikki, for doing those things for him. He did. Conjura said, I should not have to keep asking you to help me. If they know your love language is acts of service, you shouldn't have to ask. If they know that your love language is acts of service, you should not have to ask. Phoenicia said, listen to what they say. Ensure that their needs are met. Okay. Now, let me just throw this caveat in here. Okay. And I've said it a few minutes ago, but I'm gonna say it again. If you are getting to know somebody and they're not loving you the way you feel like you should be loved, it's okay to tell them how you prefer to be loved. For instance, I used this analogy earlier. If they keep sending you gifts over and over again, but Africa, they're not stopping by to say hello, then they're not loving you the way you want to be loved. And so that's, you're not going to be filled or fulfilled, and therefore your love tank is going to be empty. And when a car's tank is empty, it can't go. It won't move. It won't, it stays stuck right where it is. And a lot of relationships, I believe, are staying stuck is because we're not taking the time, and I might be guilty, I ain't gonna lie, to learn our partner's love language and then make a concerted effort to make sure we feel that love tank. Because once we feel that, put it like this, the foreign cars, right, especially high-end foreign cars, they require 93 octane fuel. That's a much cleaner, higher grade fuel. And it's necessary to make the car go. If a car requires 93, what you think a body requires? We require, hold on, see what we got right here. No, let me All right, let me get. All right, let me get Victoria. Hold on one second, Victoria. Let me get you on the line. 1 second. Get up. Can you hear me? Oh, we got you. Cool. All right. All right, cool. Sorry, I am old. Thank you. I appreciate that. Make me feel old. All
It's
right.
not because you're old, it's habit. I even say it to my 6-year-old.
Okay. Well, no, he definitely. All right. So talk to me. What are some ways you can make a person whose love language is acts of service? How do you make them feel love?
So, and I personalize everything. I'm an expert on myself.
Okay.
And so for me in my relationship, it's alleviating stress, um, things that I either may miss or overlook or don't like to do or hate to do, taking out the trash. I hate taking out the trash.
Mm-hmm.
So my significant other takes out the trash. Um, Making sure that my oil change is done on my car because I'm forgetful, and that's sometimes not the highest priority when I'm overwhelmed with so many other things.
Got you.
So when I think of acts of service, it's taking some of the stress off of the day to day, or recognizing the big things.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm currently in school working on my master's, and I'm in an internship.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my biggest factors is I have to secure my children when I'm at my internship. And so he steps up and makes sure that on certain days I don't have to worry about, okay, who's going to pick them up from school, where they're going to be. He just does it.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, that's a big, big thing. He takes my son to taekwondo one day a week, and I do the other day that he has it on in the week. So it's sharing the load is another way that I think it's good to look at that, because it is stressful. It is a lot, and for one person to carry the full weight of whatever it is in the relationship isn't very fair, and it's not equitable. So where I may be able to do something one day, he may not be able to do. So it's not, oh well, I mean, every other day you do it. Why can't you do it today? It's okay. And let's adjust and make sure that this works, because you make sure I'm taken care of on this side. So for me, acts of service is just stepping into where I may fall short or where there may be a gap. And we share that. Other things I'm able to step in and do. So for me, acts of service comes from spending so much time having to carry the full weight of my day to day life
Mm-hmm.
on my own,
Mm-hmm.
that having somebody to share that with or somebody to take some of that load is incredible. I think that's probably a good word to describe that
It's a
relationship.
darn good word. Let me ask you a question. What's his love language?
Mhm.
What's his love language?
His love language is physical touch and words of affirmation.
Okay. And you make sure you love him on those, because I listen, I know how hard it was to get my master's. I get it. So raising children with activities and working on a doctorate, I know that can consume a lot of time, but it's only for a season, right? It's only for year two, however long it takes to get that
Correct.
done. So a person who's invested understands that it's only for a season. So they might they're cool, maybe not getting it as much as they would normally get it. You understand what I'm saying? But the fact that
Hmm.
and that's my problem, Victoria, is that a lot of times I think we're so one-sided on the relationship that we want people to love us a certain way, but we don't take the time to love them, I mean, the way they need to be loved as well. And I think it just flows so much easier if we operate with
Yes.
knowledge that his love language is words of affirmation, right? His love language is physical touch. So
Correct.
that means if we sitting on the couch and I'm reading this book, I got this laptop in my lap, I can actually, sit beside you and our legs can just touch each other and you're satisfying his need. You understand what I'm saying? So I get that, and
Hmm.
I appreciate the fact that you all recognize That, and so you can testify that there are some good men out here. Is it true?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
Oh, absolutely. But it took me,
okay.
and I don't know who may end up mad at me later, but it is what it is. It took me recognizing that he brought more to this relationship than I did in terms of emotional awareness and on some level emotional maturity, because it had been so long since I had been in a relationship, in a romantic relationship,
Did that sound like
that
accountability? Hold on.
I was
Hold on. I gotta take another. Hold on. That's almost like this whole vulnerability thing a minute ago. I'm about to. Y'all gonna make me pass out today. I used the word vulnerable today, and you just took account. I'm joking. I'm being facetious. He brought more to the
listen,
relationship.
vulnerability is one of my favorite words.
I hate it.
So
I hate it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I hate it with a passion. But he brought more to the relationship. And what? Say that again, please, ma'am.
in terms of his emotional awareness and his
Okay.
emotional maturity,
Mm,
because I am, and we talk about it in our relationship. I'm a very heavy communicator. So I maybe sometimes overshare.
mm,
And when we got together, it was like, oh, you need to know all of this stuff about me. And he took that in with understanding to say, that may be how you handle things before, but you're trying to do things differently.
mm.
And I was like, oh, well, yeah, that's true. But I met him and he came into my life at a very specific time where I was recognizing within myself I was ready for something different than what I had been doing the previous 5-10 years of my life.
Mm.
And so when we met, I chose to just go into a space to meet people. He shows up and I'm like, oh, okay, you're cool. Let's hang out. We can go on some dates. Number one, I didn't set expectations for, okay, we're going to go on a date. By second date, he's going to really like me. By the third date, he's going to call me his girlfriend. Like, I didn't have any of that.
Hmm.
It was just, oh, let's hang out. And I very clearly articulated to him I wasn't setting any expectations for what we were doing. I
Uh-huh.
was just going with the flow of how it was going to progress naturally. Um, and I love that about where we are, because he acknowledges, okay, Victoria, you need to, I see you're trying to work on this.
Hmm.
This is how I recognize what you're working on. So he comes back, and I think next to gifts, my bottom love language is words of affirmation. Because to me, sometimes words are really pretty, but if you don't have action behind them,
Yeah, I see that.
then there's no substance. So that's me. Um, but for us, and back to kind of how this all started in terms of communication,
Hmm.
I was able to communicate how I internalize and externalize love in the physical way.
Yeah.
It's not, and like you said before, it's not about sex.
No.
But sometimes if you just sit next to me on your phone, I'm on my phone, we're good.
Mm.
That's good for me.
Yeah.
But we had to communicate that.
Yeah.
And he was aware of why it was important for me.
Let me ask you. I'm not trying to be too nosy. Is there an age difference, or y'all the same age?
Not significantly. He just turned 40 and I just turned 38.
Okay. Okay. So that's not a significant age difference. Okay. But y'all are grown now. Listen, when men
Mm-mm.
turn 40, that we pick up that, a lot of us, we pick up that we acquire that metaphorical remote control, right? Life kind of starts to slow down a little bit. We can press pause, we can press play, we can stop. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us, because we start the process a little bit different. So things start to kind of slow down. I think for me, 40 is when I kind of started to make that turn for the better. But I appreciate you for calling in, Victoria. Hopefully you'll be able to make the event in Little Rock in May. But
I'll be there.
you'll be there. Okay, good, good,
Nope,
good.
I'll be there.
All right, cool, cool, cool. All right, thanks for calling in. We got one more to do, and we'll get off here and call it a night. Thanks for calling in. Talk to you later. Okay.
All right, thanks. Absolutely.
All right, bye bye. Yeah, I am literally in shock. A woman has taken. I'm about to pass out. I had to do a commercial earlier when I used the word vulnerable, but now she said, "Wow." But that's good. Thank you, Victoria, for calling in. I'm being facetious, but I'm really joking. I'm joking a little bit. So, if a person's love language is acts of service, there are certain things that you can do to make them feel comfortable, and part of that is just doing things without having to ask. Remember, I had a friend one time. Uh, I think I'm trying to think of something I did that maybe might have qualified as acts of service. Oh yeah, I sent them a car wash. I sent them some so they can go and get a detail done on their car. I wasn't in town, so good night, Jackie. Thank you, sweetie. We'll talk. Can we go to the 24th instead of the 19th? No, I'll call you tomorrow. I'm joking. Don't get mad at me. But yeah, things you can do for somebody to help them. Those are good things. Those would be a good thing. Shouldn't it be a given? Emmanuel, it could be a given, but what we're working on tonight, Emmanuel, is we're actually talking about people's specific love languages. Now, it could be a given, but Emmanuel, if that's not that person's love language, they might not. You might be saying, "I'm doing a good deed," but that's not their love language, so they're not going to feel fulfilled. And then you'll sit here saying, "Well, hell, I got your yard cut. I got your," but that's not what fulfills them. Her love language might be physical touch, or her love language might be words of affirmation. You are doing what you feel like needs to be done, and that's a good thing. I think it's admirable. I think it's noble, because as men, sometimes we just pick up the ball. We think certain things should be done, but if that's not what fulfills them, then sometimes what we're doing is counterproductive. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out, because communication is one of the biggest issues that we have in relationships, we're trying to find the most effective way to communicate with whoever our love interest is. Does that make sense? That's what we're doing. So if you go back and catch the show, we talked about if someone's love language, yeah. And you're coming in at the end, so you missed all this stuff that we've already talked about. You're right. Those conversations do come in, and in that conversation, we learn what their love language is. So, like for instance, I told him my love language is words of affirmation. So with words of affirmation, I like compliments. I like to hear "I love you." I like to hear certain things. If my love language is physical touch, then we might like to cuddle. We might like to just, how you've been with somebody, you just want to just kind of ease your leg over there and touch their leg. All those types of things, right? The only one we have not done so far is the giving gifts things, right? Oh, no doubt, Anthony. We should always, and Emmanuel, but everything you're saying, you're coming in, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But I think sometimes, and here it is again, Emmanuel. You correct me if I'm wrong. Sometimes, as men, we feel like certain services should be done, or certain things should be done, so we just do them. And I think sometimes ladies expect us to do those things so that we don't get credit for them when we do them, if we are looking for credit, if that makes sense. I don't know. I'm perhaps in this. But the last and final one tonight that we have not discussed is and Emmanuel, I appreciate you for being on tonight, man. But gift giving. If someone's love language is gift giving or receiving gifts, then we love them on their love language. Now, if someone is a love language is gift giving, then how does that work? Phoenicia, you help me with that. Is that the person who's receiving the gift, or the person who's sending the gifts? Who's actually doing the loving in that instance? Because I know certain people who are just givers, and it makes them feel good to give gifts. I went so many years without getting gifts. I could care less about gifts, and all of a sudden I met somebody who started sending me a bunch of thoughtful gifts, just little thoughtful things. And I was like, wow. And all of a sudden I just started smiling again because, so I don't know, in love, and actually, when I took my love language test a couple of years ago, gift receiving and all that stuff was at the bottom. When I took the 3 tests today, it moved up to number 3. That's weird, but it happened. It's weird. But who is the person that's doing the loving in that instance? The person that's sending the gift? Okay, thank you. I thought it was the person who was receiving the gift. And I think it's both. I've read in some instances where it's sending and receiving gifts, but I didn't look at it from the standpoint until right now that the person who's sending the gift that's their way of loving as well. Yeah, that makes sense. And so, and it's not, and it doesn't always have to be extravagant gifts. You know, we used to always wait until Valentine's Day and Christmas and birthdays to give the iPads or the expensive cologne or the jewelry or things of that nature, right? Because we think that that's how we show love. And we're in this society right now with this whole 50-50 stuff and people just giving people money. Just, I mean, abnormal. People have expectations. I told you, I met somebody one time online, and within 15-20 minutes, they was asking me for some money to buy lunch, some money to buy a book. I'm like, I don't even know you. But I don't know. I think that's kind of a warp. It's kind of warped. It's created a warped mentality. Let me see. Let me see what Phoenicia says. Phoenicia said that is their way of showing this person. That is their way of showing their person love. They may not be good at using words, so words of affirmation. Instead of it may be gift giving. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Ain't nobody, Emmanuel, you're absolutely right. Ain't nobody gonna take advantage of James because I see. Watch this. I can say no in so many. I can say no. I can say it in sign language. Look at it. I can say in Pig Latin, oh nay. I can say it in Spanish, no. I can say no in so many different ways. So, and nobody gonna use me. Now, if I give it, it's because I want to give it, and I am a giver to whoever I want to give to. That's all I'm saying. So I'm an expert at saying no. I can even say it like, hell no. What? Hell no. I can say it a whole bunch of different ways, man. But I'm joking. I'm laughing, but very serious. But if it's somebody that I care about, and if that person, if that's their love language, and I have to communicate with that, then and I pay attention. I mean, I'm a chameleon in a lot of areas. So if I see how you're doing how you move, then I'm probably gonna move. I'm probably gonna change how I move a little bit, right? So I mean, that's good. Let me see. Anthony love using that most term. Most. Did you do some statistical data? Anthony said most men our gift giving is very simple. Don't get me wrong, getting a tie or socks is cool, but put some thought in it. Okay, you're right on that. Phoenicia said, I believe a person who has that type of love language can be challenging. How so? Okay, here she told me. You may run the risk of hurting them badly if a gift is repeatedly rejected. That's why communication is also key. Phoenicia is our resident therapist, so I appreciate that. That makes sense. Anybody agree with that? Anybody that might be your love language? You see what Phoenicia is saying? You might agree with that. You may risk hurting them badly if a gift is repeatedly rejected. And rejected mean not appreciated. Is that another way of saying that? Not appreciated. Let's see. Conjua said her love language. Gift giving is my love language, not just in a relationship, also friends. I don't really expect gifts, but I do love it. If I get a gift, if a person is in a bad place, don't worry yourself. If you bless me with your heart, it helps me with things when things is needed. But okay, I get that. I get that. I get that. I get that. Let's go back. She said you may be hurting them badly if a gift is repeated. Because I think that's and this was just actually revealed to me just a moment ago. But I think for so long, when we talk about the love language of sending and receiving gifts, we focus on the fact of receiving gifts, that we don't focus on the sending aspect of it. And the person who is sending the gift is emitting or speaking in their love language. Yeah, that's good, Phoenicia. I appreciate you for that. I appreciate you. Jesse Horton, so he said the air fryer he hasn't opened up yet. So somebody gave you a gift. So gifts wasn't your love language then. Is that what you're saying? Who's pitching? Okay, that's them. I'm watching the Braves and Astros. I was supposed to go to Houston this weekend, today, but I mean tomorrow, but I don't feel like going. All right, yeah. So Jesse, what's your love language, Jesse? If you all have not taken the love language quiz, go to my page and take it. Learn your love language. What it is? Love language. Your love language is receiving gifts, or it's not, Jesse? It is. So they gave you an air fryer, but you haven't opened it yet. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, go to my page and take the love language quiz so you know your love language. Sometimes we think we know them. Like I said earlier, I took 3 separate quizzes today, and I tried my best to really answer the questions a little different and I tried to control the outcome, right? But it came up the same every time. My love language is words of affirmation. Go ahead, go to my page, or look or Google free love language quiz, whatever, and learn your love language. And if you're dating someone, if you are dating someone, if you're in a relationship or you're desirous of being in a relationship with someone, take the time to communicate and find out what their love language is. And conversely, if you are the person with someone and that person is not loving you or the way you feel like you should be loved, or they're trying to send you gifts, but you need acts of service, don't hesitate. Please, ma'am, please, sir, stop the madness because all it's going to do is create confusion. It's going to be wasted energy because that person is loving, especially if they're loving to their full capability. They're putting all of this effort into you. They're putting all this effort into loving you, but you're not receiving it because that's not how you want to be loved. Let's view it like this. Let's take Dr. Chapman's advice and let's assume that anyone that we're dating, not everyone, anyone that we're dating, let's assume that person has a love tank. Let's assume that person has a love tank, and we have what it takes free. It ain't $3.49 a gallon. It ain't $3.69 a gallon. It's not $4.09 a gallon. It's free. We have what it takes because we enjoy that person enough. We like that person enough. We want to explore more with this person. We're going to do what's necessary to fill that person's emotional love tank. We're going to do what it takes to fill that person's emotional love tank. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to find out what their love language is. And once we find out what their love language is, we're going to love them on their love language. Let me see what Emmanuel said. It goes back to keeping your mouth closed and your eyes and ears open to find out what's really going on with that person. You're right. But I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes if my eyes can't see it because I might be blind, if my ears can't hear it because I might be deaf, we can communicate through sign language. We can we can find. You can tell me how you want to be loved, and I'm gonna ask. Certain things as a hunter, I want to find out, but I do want to know. And if you let me guess initially and I guess wrong, be woman enough to tell me, hey, that ain't my spot. That's not working. Did I say that? That's not working. That's not working. Let's see what Jesse's crazy behind said. Jason said she always sees the air fryer and feels unappreciated, but I rarely cook though. So she bought you something. I got you. And yeah. But you rarely the air fryer, hey, you can fry some good naked fried chicken in that joke. You ain't got to put no batter or nothing on that joke. Just season it, throw it in there from 350 for about 17 minutes. I got to get me a new chair. This chair's starting to hurt my back. I'm getting too old for this. Um, but Emmanuel throwing all the cliches. He said, "Believe nothing you hear and half of what you see." Absolutely. But listen now, Emmanuel, I get that. Now I feel you. But we're assuming that we're starting off with 100. That all things are good. We're not talking about relationships that have been tainted by social media and bad advice and all that. We're talking about when all things are operating optimally and we're sincerely trying to get to know each other. Everybody start like I've said before. I used to teach my children when they went off to school every year that on the first day that they all had 100, and that meant they had all A's. And anything they lost during the course of the semester, they lost it. That's their fault. They went from an A to a B to a C. But my children never got C's, but they lost those points. I think in a relationship, we should start off with 100. And as time goes, if we start to recognize, not look for red flags, as we start to recognize them, then we start to deduct points, right? So in this instance, I want to say we're starting off with 100. We're taking time to communicate, to court, so we can be effective communicators, because we're communicating through our love language. If I know what you like, for instance, if someone says they want to cook me dinner, and I have told them prior to going to their house that I have a very bad shellfish allergy, and I get to their house and they cook shellfish, is that effective? Will that work? Number one, I'm not going to eat it because I don't want to die. I don't want to stick an EpiPen in me. I don't want my throat to close up. So that meant that person's not loving me the way does it. Okay. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. Let's see what Conjure was talking about her pastor. She said, my pastor says sometimes people doesn't grow up in a home that the family parent says I love you. If you date someone who is used to saying I love you, it could be a big problem. This is why you must learn each other and see what we really like about each other. Absolutely. Exactly. Someone wasn't listening because they might think, Phoenicia, that they make the best shrimp etouffee and they want to show off their signature dish. But I told them, I very distinctly said that I'm allergic to shellfish. They're not listening. If someone has told you that their love language is words of affirmation, but rather than affirm them, you don't even call, but you steadily sending flowers and you steadily sending expensive gifts, and that doesn't move everybody. It doesn't move everybody. Like, for instance, you can't get me with some things you would get other men with. You know, if you're leading with sex, that's probably not going to get me. Because I'll bore easily. I get tired. I mean, I get so bored on that one so fast that'd be over. Be done. Need substance. And when you start feeling someone's, you know what? You get better gas mileage when you got more gas in your tank. So if a person's emotional love tank is full, things just have a way of operating magic. Conjure, does your pastor teach you about spiritual warfare and rebuking? Because I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. If you're talking about if you ever wear, you said it right. If I ever wear matching pajamas, I'm not. So you will not meet her because she doesn't exist. No, actually, there she is, you see her. That's what she looked like. Her. That's what I want to be wearing matching pajamas with. Nobody. Nope. So it's not gonna happen. So those are the love languages that we let me see what Victoria said. We have to listen to understand and not just to respond. In a situation like this, the seafood, that person already had a plan and had no plan to change it. Lacks respect. Absolutely. But am I right? Does that happen in relationships? It does. That's like old boy said on my page last week. He said he met some young lady. He said they had barely started dating, and she went and bought 2 t-shirts, and both t-shirts made a sentence. He said he ran. So he said he ran like a pit bull was on him. He said he got out of that quick because he said he saw where that was going. He said she was a beautiful, nice lady, but that wasn't where he was. That wasn't where he was. And you have to take the time to, because we have such a cookie cutter mentality that we think that we can put a one size fits all way of loving on everybody, and that everybody will respond to that type of love. And that's simply not the case. That's simply not the case. So this has been an interesting conversation. Conjure, I appreciate you for suggesting that we talk about this love languages, because we are trying to bond the sexes. We are trying to get past this battle of the sexes, and the way that we can stop battling, the way we can stop battling is by learning how to effectively communicate. One size fits all, you mean you just have to adjust, right? Nah, I don't think there is a one size fits all. Adjusting, I think every relationship is. Listen, Emmanuel, this is my contention. Now, like I said, I'm just James. I'm your friend. I'm just talking from my experience. I think if God made us all individually and unique, and he anatomically gave us all different fingerprints, I think that we should all be dealt with as individuals and not as a one size fits all, right? We shouldn't, if you're dating a woman, you shouldn't go in with an assumption. You should go in eyes open, ears open, willing to heart open, willing to learn. Now I ain't gonna lie, I'm learning this. I was married 20 years, and I've messed up some potentially good relationships since then, because I didn't know how to receive nor give does that make sense? So a lot of what I do, and Phoenicia can send me a bill later on, and your pastor Conjure can send me a bill because they're both therapists later on. But a lot of what I do is therapy so I can learn, because I realize the mistakes that I've made. So I think if we learn how to learn, Emmanuel, the lady that we are leaning towards, we learn what her love language is, and then communicate with her on her love language, I think that creates effective communication, and effective communication should definitely be the goal. That's just my contention. That's just what I believe. That's just what I believe. And I think if we do that, I think then it takes a lot of confusion out, because now guess what? We start to fill up that emotional love tank. We start to fill up that emotional love. Speaking out loud speaks more volume. I get it. Some people need to hear it. Some people need to see it. According to some people earlier in the conversation, Conjure, she said, one woman said, you can, if her love language is acts of service, she said, you can talk, if my love language ain't words of affirmation, you can talk to me all day long, but if I don't see it, it doesn't mean anything to me. And that's what I'm saying, Emmanuel, because everybody is different. Like earlier in the conversation, Africa said her love language was quality time. So I said, if he gets off work and comes to your house and falls asleep on the couch, would you be offended? Victoria was joking, but she said, no, that's not a date. Or she said, I want to go on real dates. That makes sense. But I said, Victoria, what's your love language? It was not quality time. But when Africa answered, Africa said, oh, I wouldn't have a problem if he came over and fell asleep on the couch. In fact, when he woke up, I'll probably have a nightcap for him and probably have a meal for him, because that's her love language. Quality time. That's like, let's put three people in the room. Let's put someone who speaks Spanish. Let's put someone who speaks Swahili, and then somebody who speaks English. And neither one of them have ever had a communication, never been in any other environment other than the language that they're used to speaking, right? How can they communicate? They can't. It's hard. Now, they can do nonverbal things. They can point, smile, all those things. But is that really effective communication? Now, we have tools by knowing love languages that will help us communicate effectively with our potential love interests. Why don't we use them? That's a rhetorical question. But why don't we use them? If it can help us communicate more effectively. If I know Lakeisha's love language is acts of kindness or acts of service, then I need to realize that no matter how things go, I can buy her this, I can give her money, I can send cash apps all day long, and she gonna probably send them back because that's not how she communicates. Does that make sense? I know it don't, because some of y'all say, I ain't finna send her, ain't nowhere in the world. She crazy, she sends some money back. But if that's not her love language, then that, ask, what's your question? Or do you want to call in and ask it? I got a phone. Hold on. If you don't want to type it, let me put the phone number up again. That's the phone number if you want to call in, or you can type it in and I'll answer it. Or if I can't answer it, we got a whole bunch of people in this chat that are saying some good stuff. Emmanuel saying some good stuff. Anthony saying some real good stuff. Phoenicia saying some good stuff. Victoria saying some good stuff. All of y'all, Africa, all of y'all are on it tonight. I appreciate you. But what's the question? Let's talk. Oh Lord, it's 10:50. I gotta start winding down. I didn't realize I've been on this long. I didn't realize it. All right, so after I answer her question, we're gonna start winding down and we gotta start getting ready to go. Listen, we are still preparing for the Bonding of the Sexes 2 in Little Rock, Arkansas on May the 4th at 6 p.m. Well, the VIP reception starts at 6 p.m. and that will be from 6:45. Excuse me, from 6 to 6:45, and then at 7 o'clock we will start our actual event. Hold on, let me get her question. Hold on. Victor, oh, this has been great. Oh, if you are interested in someone, is it wrong to tell them you don't play about being hit on by a man? Hell no, ain't nothing wrong with telling somebody that. Shoot, no, you no. You shouldn't have to tell them that. Well, Lakeisha, you went and took the test, and you said yours has changed. However, it makes sense. What was it initially, and what is it now? Thank you, Victoria, and tell somebody else about us. We have these conversations every Monday night. But no, Conjure, and I hope if he put his hands on you, I hope you lose interest fast. But a man, you shouldn't have to tell a person, a real man, that. But no, but yeah. Now, let me tell you how you might package that. You might say, now listen, I've been in relationships in the past that turned out to be abusive. If I see signs of abuse, I'm probably going to check out. Is that another way of saying the same thing, but getting your point across? Yeah. Oh, yeah, man, Emmanuel, I appreciate that, man, for real. Hey, listen, and if you're in Arkansas on Saturday, May the 4th, we're doing an event in Little Rock. Here it is again. We're doing an event in Little Rock called The Bonding of the Sex. I do this podcast in front of a live audience. And we record. Now, we record. We have community conversation at the end. It's really fun. It's really fun. It costs, now right now we got an early bird special. It's $15 for it's $15 for what is it? $15 for general admission, $30 for VIP. But VIP, you get VIP food. It's like a little buffet. You also get an open bar. You also get guaranteed seating, and you're also invited to the VIP reception. All those things are available. Now, the VIP reception is from 6 o'clock until 6:45 p.m. You also get to come and hang out with us and all those types of things. So, are you okay? Okay, you reside in Texas. Okay, cool. Well, if you ever make your way back this way, we do it every 2 or 3 months. You will not be disappointed. And even those that are doing general admission, you can do general admission. That's cool. You still get, Keisha, what do they get? You still get hors d'oeuvres. So now you don't get an open bar, but you do get hors d'oeuvres. So make sure you check that out. Please, ma'am, please, sir. Now, I have to go ahead and say this. I have to go ahead and say this. We're getting ready to have to cut off the VIPs because VIP, we have a caterer, and the caterer needs to be able to prepare for the head count. So Friday the 19th, I will be cutting off VIP sales. You can still do general admission, and we'll probably even take some at the door. But if you plan on coming VIP, you need to purchase your ticket by the 19th, which is this Friday. Lakeisha, if you have access to the VIP reception, all right, okay, Lakeisha, if you have Conjure was one of our winners last week. She won a VIP reception. And Emmanuel, you live in Texas. She's driving over from Mississippi to come be a part of it. So she is coming over from Mississippi. Now Lakeisha's getting ready to put the link in the chat for the VIP link. Now, also, let me give y'all, because some of y'all are having trouble. Y'all are challenged. I promise you that doggone is killing y'all. Technology. So let me help you out. This is my Cash App. The Intellectual Stew. Let me give you another. This is my Cash App. If you want to come but can't figure out the technology, Cash App me at this Cash App. Cash App the Intellectual Stew. Make sure you put your phone number and your name, or your email address and your name in the subject line, and Lakeisha will send you a ticket within 24 hours. It'll probably be faster than that, but she has children, so I'm trying to give y'all time. Okay? You can Cash App me at the Intellectual Stew. $30 if you want VIP, $15 if you want general admission. And when you do that, when my Cash App goes off, I will forward the information to Lakeisha, and whether you send your phone number or you send us your email address, you will receive a ticket electronically. Okay, that's 6 o'clock to 6:45, May the 4th. That's going to be the VIP reception, and then at 7 o'clock we'll start recording. We'll have 3 conversations. We should get through about 9:30. We got entertainment coming in too. Let me show you one more time who the entertainment is. One more time who it is. I'm gonna show you one of them. Here it is.
And I don't know what to think. The bartender bring a double shot of the Hennessy. They even know my favorite drink. And they know I got a woman, and we're doing fine. But every time they see us, they can't keep it off their mind. And it's strange when you finally find a girl. That's when everybody wants you. Everybody wants you back. Nobody told me that when you finally find love, that's when everybody wants you. Everybody wants you back. I'm not saying I'm a cheat.
Oh, my bad. I was over here grooving to that little boy. He said, crazy when every time you find somebody, that's when everybody wants you back. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know. I did Keisha wrong, y'all. She said I have to be warned. She has to be warned when I want those links, and she's absolutely right. But she always comes through in the clutch. That's why I told y'all she's my homie. That's my partner right there. All right, so it's been real. Get your tickets by Friday if you want VIP tickets. It's worth it. The food and drinks alone is worth it. But then you get the conversation, and you get Roosevelt, and you get Ron Mack doing poetry, all those things. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. And you get to be a part of the conversation. Win-win. Win-win. All right. As I always say, as I get ready to make my exit, the world is changing. My question for you is, why do you remain the same? Y'all have a good night, and I'll check y'all out next week.
intellectual.